calming down techniques. What are they? And how can you use them to help in your family when you are overwhelmed, or when your child is overwhelmed, or if both or all your children are overwhelmed at the same time? So I've got three different techniques, which are very similar techniques, to calm down your child or yourself in the moment. And they all have the same basic concept of breathing to feel better. And also it teaches a coping skill, so that when your child feels overwhelmed going forward, this is something that they should jump to at the back, that should be at the back of their head, that they can jump to as a coping skill to deal with their frustrations, instead of maybe hitting or biting or shouting or whining. All right, so the first technique that we have, I always say, is when you are also overwhelmed. A lot of the time, a tantrum happens, or a child gets frustrated when the mom is also busy or overwhelmed or frustrated or just not in the mood. It doesn't really matter, but you also need a breather. So my first tip, or the first technique that I want to share with you, is that you basically just tell your child, come, we are going to breathe. Let me just have a check here. Yes, we're going to breathe for 3 seconds. Breathe in, and then you show them, but your movements must always be exaggerated. I think that is the trick in all three of these, is you don't just go breathe in and breathe out, because no one wants to do that. Your child wants to learn from example, and he wants to learn from you. So you breathe in, and then you say, keep it in, how long can you? And try to breathe it out as slowly as you can. And you make a joke of it, and you make it funny, and you ask them to have a try and see who can blow the deepest in and who can blow out the deepest or the longest. So that's just more of a technique to help the mom to also calm down, because as soon as you've been breathing, they are breathing without knowing it. And then when you're done with that, say, oh, mom feels better now, or dad feels better now because I've had a breathe. Are you also feeling better now? Because we've both just breathed a little bit, we've calmed down a bit. And then you can either talk about what it was that was happening, or you can just leave it. Very often it's just a very little thing in that situation. The second one is when you can see a tantrum is on its way and you want to stop it and you don't know what to do. So usually parents can know, oh, if I do this, it's going to cause a tantrum, or if I do this, it's going to, it's on its way, and you don't really know what to do to stop it. So what I recommend, when you see the tantrum coming on, you take your finger as quick as you can and you push it in front of your child's nose, and you say, look at this flower, it's beautiful. And you tell the color, you picture the flower, everything, you say, smell it. It's a purple flower, it's the biggest flower I've ever seen, it's the most beautiful one, it smells the best, it doesn't matter, exaggerate it and make it fun. Smell. And if they don't, which they usually don't want to, because they're not in the mood to be doing anything except for, taking their tantrum, taking its course, and you then take it to your nose and you, this is beautiful, you have to smell it. And in that, you are actually teaching them to breathe in. Then, once they've done that, if they have, whether you had to do it first or them, once they've breathed in, you take that same finger, which is at their nose, and you put it up straight, and you say, look, it's turned into a candle, blow it out, it's your birthday. And then they have to, but you don't, one thing I've come across is they don't blow it like they shoot a candle, because again, they're still in their tantrum mode. So then you tell them, no man, that's not how you blow it, and you, in Afrikaans they say, laat die spoeg spat. You blow so hard that you literally spray them full of spit. I know it's COVID times and everything, but this is luckily your own child. So the reason for this is as soon as you do that, so you, when everything comes out, sorry about that, I can even see it on the screen. When it comes out, you take your hand and you wipe their face and say, oh, so sis, oh, that's disgusting. Do you want to try it? And in this moment, their course that they were on should start to turn. And then once they've blown, and it's a giggle and it's a laugh, you say to them, okay, you are 3 years old, or you are almost 3 years old. let's blow your candle out three more times or two more times, whatever the number and the age may be. So let's say they're 2.5 years old. You say, you're almost 3. Let's do it 3 times. Blow, sorry, not blow. Smell the flower and then blow out the candle. And then do it again a 3rd time. And then you say, hip, hip, hooray. Do you feel better now? And again, this is not a distraction technique to get their attention completely off of where they were. It's just a diffusion method. It diffuses them. It gives them a coping skill to first breathe in, breathe out, get that emotion under control, get their own emotion under control. And they are the one that's doing it. You are just guiding it. Once that emotion is under control, you speak about it. And you then have to go to where, what do we do in the future when we feel this emotion? That's what we're trying to teach them. So when they feel this emotion or this frustration or this anger or this heart sore, whatever it is that they're feeling, you deal with it, you help them to diffuse it, and then you tell them, but what, mommy can see you're feeling frustrated because I didn't buy that toy for you. However, this and this and this and this, whatever you then say after that. For example, if I give you a piece of paper, write it on your wish list, and we can see what we can do for your birthday, or see what we can do for Christmas, or see what we can do next time. I think that takes it away, but it lets them deal with that frustration that they have, and you acknowledging the emotion. It is so important for children for you to acknowledge that emotion of what they are feeling. Well, mommy can see your heart is sore because I didn't buy that sweetie. Every time we come to the shop, we can't buy a sweetie for you because sometimes you must also know that we've got lots of sweeties at home, or that you need to know what no is, whatever your reasoning is behind not buying that sweet, and them knowing that no is sometimes no, then you give that reason. But you first acknowledge the emotion. Very important. Okay, 3rd technique is a very, very, very way out technique. I absolutely love this technique. I've not seen a child, or have not heard of a child through all the feedback in my practice that is not, what's the word? That is not reacted to this in a good way. So this one definitely works, but this one only works when your child is already in full-blown tantrum and you need to stop it. So it can be in a shop, I mean, it can be at home, it can be anywhere, but you want to stop this tantrum right now. It's just getting out of hand. So what I recommend before you get to that tantrum and you have to use this technique is before, get 3 balls of clay, or a ball of clay, split it into 3. Get a picture or a little plastic pig, 3 of them, and a wolf. Then also you get ice cream sticks. You can get a whole pack of ice cream sticks at any craft store. Get a pack of straws, and then use any blocks, Lego blocks, wooden blocks, I mean any blocks that can build a house. And you, one night with your child or with your children, say we're gonna play, it's playtime now. And you spend time with them, you give each child a ball of clay and tell them to split it into 3. So they have 3 different blobs. 3 pigs each, and a wolf. And you tell them the story of the 3 pigs. So this little piggy built his house with straw, and you take the straws and you actually, as the clay is up here, you put the little pig in the middle of the clay, and you put the sticks on the outside, or the straws on the outside, and you build a house so that he's closed. Then you go to the next one, you build the sticks, you go to the next one, you build the blocks, the brick house. And then you tell the story of the wolf, and when you are enacting the wolf, exaggerate the huff and the puff, and I'll blow your house down. And when they blow, make sure to knock over their house, the one which is being knocked over. And then when this game is finished, when you guys have done telling the story and you're finished with the game, tell your children or ask them if they can blow as hard as the big bad wolf can huff and puff, and see if they can blow you down, and give them a few chances before you actually fall over. And again, your exaggeration is coming in. So you completely fall over, fall backwards. I like to always use it, be close to a wall. So I hit against the wall and, oh, I can't, you're blowing too hard. And they giggle. It's fun for them. They breathe in because they have to, in order to get that big huff and puff out, they need to breathe in. So they need to, and then they can try and blow you over like the big bad wolf. Okay. This is a precursor. It's a nice fun thing you can do with your kids, but it opens up the prompt that you need. So fast forward to the full-blown tantrum. They're lying on the floor. You immediately ask them, let's say your child's name is Jane. Janie love, do you want to blow me down like the big bad wolf? Because if you breathe, you'll feel better. And even though they're in full-blown tantrum, so many parents sitting with me while we discuss this, I've said, my child will never, they'll carry on kicking and screaming. But just that prompt, knowing the joy that it gave them with the game and the precursor to this. When you tell them, try and blow me down, or try and blow me over, or try and huff and puff, and they sort of, they'll look up, they might not completely stop or react, then you say, okay, if you're not going to do it, I'll do it. I'm going to blow you over and you better. And they don't want that. They don't want you to blow over. So they'll probably jump up, stand up, turn around and start blowing you. And you better believe it that you need to fall down there. You just need to fall down. And let them blow you down a few times. And then you, again, have to, you've just diffused the situation by breathing. You have to sit your child down and say, okay, Jane, what happened there, Mommy didn't like. I wasn't happy with what happened. And you point out the positives and you say to her, you are always well behaved. You're always such a good little girl. But this that you did now wasn't nice. I didn't like it and I don't want it to happen again. Okay. And you talk nicely and you tell her that she's good. You tell her that what she did wasn't nice. And you ask her, what can we do next time when Mommy doesn't buy you a sweetie? When you ask, what can we do instead of it getting this? Because Mom doesn't like when you are like this. You don't like when you are like this. So how can we make it better so that we can feel as good as we feel now after we've breathed? So I also think it's very important to remind your child that the breathing is what helped them to feel better. With my daughter, I know that if someone's angry and she'll say, oh, why don't you just breathe? Hold it a bit awesome. Because she knows that already does help her. And it really is a nice technique from a young age to teach them, just breathe a little bit. Keep it in as long as you can and blow it out as slowly as you can. Or huff and puff like the big bad wolf. So that's all for today. Those are just a few tips and techniques. I really would like to hear your comments. You're welcome to send me a WhatsApp, welcome to comment on the video, and I will be glad to help you with any advice or any tips that you have or anything you have to say about the calming techniques. I hope you have a good day and we'll chat again. Bye.